Hey y'all, and welcome back to another video of My Creative Life with Kel Sweetie, where we read books, we make art, and during a certain time of year, we start to Halloween decorate. Today, we are decorating. We are starting to finally decorate for Halloween. Now, I decorated this house weeks before I am filming this intro, and during my decoration, which was supposed to be one long video, I realized it was too long and I need to split it up into parts. So we are refilming the intro because I realized that midway through this decoration, this needed a very different intro since I realized what I was doing midway through. Now, am I recording this during a heat wave? Absolutely. So it feels extremely unhinged. But let's take a moment before you guys get to see the final reveal beforehand a little bit, because I want you guys to watch how we got here. I want y'all to know that it will work out. So let me move you back just a little bit. This is it, y'all. This is it. This is not the absolute final reveal. There are way better ways that I'm going to show this. But if you want to find out how to do this in your kitchen, please watch, because I'm going to be honest with you, this was a journey and it wasn't clear if we were going to get here. So continue watching. This was really one of, I want to say it was my favorite, but honestly, there are going to be 4 different Decorate With Me videos and each one was my favorite for a different reason. This one, I think was my favorite because it really put me out of my comfort zone. Like absolutely outside of my comfort zone, and somehow I got that practical magic, coven, apothecary type of kitchen look, witchy kitchen look that I was really looking for. And I really think that this is something I'll do year after year. So keep on watching after the intro to see how I got these shelves to look like this. It was such a journey and I cannot wait for you guys to see it up close in the absolute final reveal. So let's take it back to about 3 weeks when we had our first heat wave here in LA, when I started to decorate this shelf. We're starting with the kitchen. One, because I'm most excited about this, and I feel like this is gonna help me power through, but also because all of the things that are to decorate are currently taking up my island in my kitchen and my house needs to be usable. So we're going to do this area first. I've cleared it as much as I kind of possibly can. Aside from appliances like my coffee pot and stuff, our toaster, all that cannot be moved. It's not on brand, but it's okay. The idea is that these first top 2 shelves are really going to be on brand and have a lot of the things that will not move and will be very much into this witch kitchen. This, as well as a majority of this bottom portion, are all going to have to be functional. So, our bread basket that used to go here, that's why I got the cauldron. That will switch out our bread basket, so that's functional and it's still cute. And then up here, we have, mainly there's like my coffee, sugar, instant coffee. I don't drink it, but other people in this house do. And that's essentially it on that second shelf. So as long as I have those items there, and I might even look into, okay, where can I maybe place my coffee instead of it being in the airtight container thingy that I usually put it in? Maybe I can put it in one of these larger containers that I have over here. The sugar is already in a jar, so if I kind of flip it over, honestly, I already put those in apothecary jars when we first moved in. Not apothecary jars, but they're like the mason jars that have the little whatchamacallit on it. So I think that that's still gonna work. I might transfer like the instant coffee to something that they can scoop out of, but still is on brand, and I'll just wash it out. And I think that's how I'm going to go about everything. And this part just still has to be usable. As far as the mugs are concerned, I'm not really going to catch that on camera, but I realized while we do have a lot of Halloween mugs, there's enough that I can just stack those for the time being inside our pantry. and we'll use them for the majority, and then just use our 4 favorites over here. Me and my partner drink a lot of coffee. Like, we drink coffee every morning, so I don't think it's going to become an issue of like where they're sitting, because for a majority they'll probably be sitting over in the drying rack because we'll be using them throughout the week. That is the plan. What we are first going to start off with is foundation, and by that I mean foliage. We're going to put up a majority of foliage. So I want to start with some of the greenery, and then I got, one moment. So I got this, what are they calling it? Dark blueberry. I don't know. I got this. I want to hang them. That feels a little too low. And then I brought some of my hanging vine stuff that's usually sitting on my shelves in my living room. I brought them in here. So let's build out the like green portion of like a foundation for all of this, and then get back. I'll come back. I'm really happy that I got this hanging plant stuff. I was on the fence on whether or not I should get it. I'm really glad that I got it. I got this vine type of stuff from the spring section that was on clearance at Michael's. And I was considering just putting it up there, but I'm not liking it. So I'm going to cut each one of these like branches of this off so that I can piecemeal where it goes. I'm just going to get a lot more out of it by doing that, and I think it'll also just look a lot better than how it currently looks. I think this was meant to kind of stick inside of like a pot or something, but I want to use it as picks. So I'm going to cut pieces of it off and then stick them in places up there. I kind of wish I would have gotten another one of these fake Spanish moss garlands. And I'm going back and forth on sticking that up near the top. We'll see though. Also do it with these, I don't, like, they're like fern, like deadish fern pieces that I also got from Michael's. If you ever find these pieces of floral that have like this greenish tape on it, know that this is many different picks put together. I don't know if people know that you can take this apart. So I plan on when I saw that this seemed to be pieces of a larger piece, I knew that I wanted to basically take all of these pieces apart and then stick them to build out the space. So watch me also do that. So I did it off camera because it started to get a little too messy and I needed to do it over the trash. But you saw me do the first rip, which I took my scissors and I basically ripped through that first layer of floral tape, which is just that green paperish tape that was around it. And then I would take once I kind of peeled most of it off, I just took each stem and pulled it down, and it ripped through that floral tape and came apart. You can't see how thin it is, but that's just the wire, the floral wire. This is also something to keep in mind if you like to do fake floral arrangements or something. Take apart, like, just because they built out that pick for you, there were 10, that one floral pick that ended, I think it was 40% off or something, and it was originally like $7.99 or something. For that, I got 10 picks that now I can put across and in these different places up there. So just like keep that in mind, that like there are many stems on that thing, on that floral pick that they're selling to you for $14.99, $7.99, that's full price. The possibility to always take it apart for floral arrangements or to set a foundation, or I think Tim Holtz, he does these arrangements on like for his window sashes and everything, where he just gets one of those styrofoam skeleton heads and he takes the floral picks or the wreaths and pulls them apart and uses all of the floral picks to stick inside and make like arrangements. Like, okay, picture that, and then there, where my hands are is where the skeleton is. I'm gonna probably put a picture or something. Just know that you're getting this much. So you don't need to get 10 of those floral picks that they made for you. Just get maybe 2. And then you've got 20 leaves for you to use. So we're not going to put those up there. Yeah. So yeah. Now we're already looking full, and a lot of that was just me taking apart 2 different stems that got me all of that. If I would have gotten maybe another one, that would have been even more full, but we have more foliage. So I'm going to now take these 2 stems and also put them up there. And that will pretty much be all of my green foliage. I have moss, but I want to place everything and then place the moss kind of around it, and also on certain plates and in different jars that I have and stuff. So I'm going to place these. Again, if I wanted to, I could take this fern apart and probably get some more, like cut them at the root to have some picks. But in all honesty, I like how full this is already. So I think I'm just going to place them this as well. I like how long this is. So I might put it up at the top and then place these further at the bottom as well. And then we can get into basically placing things in different locations and moving things around. Okay, I love it. I absolutely love it. From here, I think we need to add like the bigger base things, which I don't think are jars just yet. Maybe larger stuff in larger vessels. I'm going to put the cauldron down here just because I can't. I feel like that's really going to set off how the witch thing kind of looks and take it from there. I'm not going to, of course, put it on its pedestal. This is the cauldron that I got from Marshall's for 20 bucks. It's supposed to be a planter. I saw it and it's supposed to sit like that, and I think it looks really great like that, but obviously that doesn't work. So what I wanted for it to sit like that, and now it'll be a bread basket. I'm not going to do that until the final reveal, but I just kind of wanted to already see it, so we're going to let go of this right now. I'm also going to place our coveted spice cabinet because things are going to go in there. So I need to kind of see where it's sitting. I can't believe I still got this for like 10 bucks. That's just crazy, dude. And I'm going to break it before I even get to put it up. Let me figure this out. This has to go up there. Just had a problem solved. I'm upset. That cabinet is just barely too big. And I could take a saw and hack off the top, but also a part of me is just like, doesn't want to do that. That feels horrible to do. I've placed it there on my wall here. I do like it. I know that lantern will fit because it was sitting there while I was waiting to decorate. I envisioned that spice cabinet there, and I'm going back and forth on cutting off that top portion that's supposed to be a little bit of a shelf. Y'all don't know how upset I am about this. Let's just take a moment. Like, don't get me wrong, it looks great there. It's just not what I originally had in mind at all. But we move forward. We work on our feet. All right, let's put something up that we know fits before we have a conniption. Yay, something fits. We knew it was. Well, I knew it was gonna fit because I'd put it there before. But it's cute there. It's cute. It balances it out. Let's keep moving forward. More large things. I think this is gonna fit. This will fit. This was one of the first things I bought all Halloween hunting season, and it was $12.99 from Home Goods. And honestly, I don't really go for stuff like this for like the dark academia stuff during Halloween hunting, but considering what this year's theme was in the kitchen, this made sense. Okay, that looks cute there. Another large item I have is this candlestick, candelabra, and again, I got this back in May during the spooky swap meet with this whole theme in mind. I'm concerned now about size, so let's check on that. So it fits. Let's put candles in it. Let's also put up this cutting board. This is a cutting board that we always have, but it fits the tone. So actually, I'm sitting here and I'm like, there's 3 other candlesticks that are going to be able to have candles in them. Maybe it's not that big a deal. Maybe I put a couple of things around it here and there. Nothing that's shatterable because it's so close to the door. We'll keep thinking on that. Let's add some more things. And then let's maybe add these candles into the mix over here. Let's put in these candlesticks that we got from Savers. I got this brass or silver, I'm pretty positive it's patinaed brass, cake stand at Savers a couple weeks ago. I don't think I showed it in my hauls, but I'm thinking maybe down here. Like, it comes out kind of far, but like you can't really see that. So I feel like it'd be more noticeable if it was up there. No, probably like in the middle. We need something to center it. Now that feels too centered. Okay, but what would I put on that? So like I said during my video when I thrifted these, they're these pillar candles that are actually wrapped in wax. Get these if you can so that you can do what I'm doing right now, which is recreating that burnt wax look on them. So I'm going to try and get them drippy before I put them up there so they look a little less like, oh, we just put in a wiggly line. You'll see in a moment. So I just finished this one, and I don't feel like you guys can see it because it's not probably showing up on camera. Focus on that, camera. But you can kind of see some of the drips and stuff, and you could also see the top is a little bit more natural and leveled out as opposed to this one that is just, it's just a wiggle, and there's no drips or anything. As opposed to this one that is barely showing drips. But it took me like 2 seconds to do that. So continue doing that with the rest of them as I put those up there. I'm going to burn some more of those candles. I'm just getting hot. I like it on that plate type of thing. I just need to figure out what other things I'll put on there. I think I'm going to take these jars and kind of create like a little platter of apothecary jars. Where that candle is, I just need to put some of the dried and other foliage that I have inside of the jars before I start placing them up here. I think I have a ton. So I think that's probably going to be the last thing I do is put up all the apothecary jars. With that being said, I have these books. I thought about putting them down here, but some of these books are actually vintage, and I don't want them to be anywhere close to where we're making coffee or pulling things down from or anything. So I'm going to put it on this second ledge. And what else did I do while we were off? Oh, I had this decanter that I thrifted like years ago that's like a chicken rooster or something. That I just, sometimes I thrift things because they're very interesting. And this was the perfect moment to use something like that. And then I had another lantern that was less decorative lantern and more old lantern. I put it up here. Having 2 lanterns, is that a lot? Probably. I may take it down. I don't know. I have 2 gas lamps. I have one large one and I have a smaller one. The smaller one I'm going to place somewhere in here. The larger one I'm going to figure out somewhere else to put it. Because 1, I think it's too tall to fit in here. And 2, because we don't need that many lanterns. Like, I didn't know I had this many lanterns just already. Let's place these books. I think this one that I picked up at Midsummer Scream that has like just blank pages in it, I'm going to keep closer down because I actually do want to draw on this. So, and I don't want to if inspiration strikes, I don't want to have to reach up there and everything. And I think it really fits there. Like, that's kind of perfect. And I brought those candles down and I'm thinking I may keep them there actually. I'm going to place this gas lamp. I don't trust it there, not with the people I live with. So I think I'm going to put it all the way up to the top. I also have some brass cups and chalices that I need to put up there, as well as the quack medicine boxes. So let me put those also. These are actual antiques, so I'm going to put them higher up and mix them in between the 2 shelves. These apothecary bottles I got at that estate sale. And I think after spending some time with them, I'm pretty positive they're not actual antiques. They're just really great reproductions. So I'm going to have these be further on the bottom because while I have a lot of apothecary looking jars that can go on the bottom, none of them really have labels. And these stickers are so much harder to get off. I hate that they put these on here. And I just feel like it'll look better. So I'm also thinking that like this bottom portion needs some work. That putting a candlestick, the candelabra without the candles may be the move, and then using the cookie jar I bought in one of these areas instead because that's functional and we have to place that somewhere. What I've done since I've been off camera, I decanted the instant coffee into one of my newer, it's just a jar, not really an apothecary jar, jars, just so that it's just an apothecary jar, and put that next to the sugar. Moved the candelabra over here along with a couple of apothecary jars that are newer or are reproductions, and put up a couple of other apothecary jars. I'm now finishing up putting these quack medicine boxes and herbs basically just sprinkled around. I'm gonna put this one, I originally had it up, I was going to put it up here and make this cluster of 3, but I realized that I have 2 here and then 2 there, so I'm gonna probably put it over here on this side just to balance it out. What's left are essentially a bunch of dried herbs to go inside of some of these apothecary jars, as well as this set of just plain ones. I'm going to throw a bunch of those herbs into different jars, and then I'm also going to put some moss throughout, like on this plate, maybe in the bottom of that plastic one that has my coffee beans in it. The coffee beans are completely protected. My coffee beans are never going to touch that moss. It's all on the outside. I think possibly it'll just make it look a little bit better. And yeah, I can't really put any of the foliage down here on this shelf, even though I would love that because it would kind of finish it off, because I just know it's going to get knocked down all the time and ruined. So like this kind of has to stay a little bit sparse because it has to be usable. I'm sweating like crazy. It's so hot. I'm going to do that, put the rest of the foliage and dried herbs into the apothecary jars and throughout, and then put the rest of these candles up and then check back in, because I think that'll be the end of it. I'm really, like, from far away, like up close, it's like, huh, okay. But like far away, it's really become what I thought it would become. This over here is bothering me. Hold on a minute. Like, I'm not even really mad at that anymore. It kind of overall fits, and now I'm kind of thinking, if I had the apothecary cabinet, maybe it would have gone in a place like this, but I have like a jar that can go there. And actually, now that I've said it, there's a jar that needs to go. Okay, let me check back in with y'all. I finished it. Did it? I feel like I keep on blocking the apothecary cabinet. It turned out exactly how I wanted it to, and not like I imagined. It definitely gives apothecary. If you, like, I'm so glad I got so much greenery. I'm glad that I took pieces apart. I almost had even arguably too much. Like, I still have some purple dried flowers left and even some gray moss. I decided not to put the gray moss in. I don't know, now that I said that, I'm going back and forth and putting some in right here. I ended up putting the moss in. So I really only have like the dried purple flowers that are left. I cut some of them and put them in my arsenic jar that's all the way at the top. I'm glad that I got all the foliage that I got. I almost thought I got too much, and it was just the right amount for it to feel full and lush, which is really what I wanted. I also was so concerned, I keep saying that, but I was really honestly concerned that I wasn't going to have enough for this witch kitchen. And I have leftover candles. I almost had to kind of sit there and edit. I'm kind of glad that the spice cabinet ended up not fitting, and it instead has to be over here, because I feel like what would have ended up there, which is our countdown calendar, would have kind of thrown it off from feeling like a real witch kitchen. And I'll just have to find another location for that countdown clock that we usually do. The antique medicines and herbs, I'm so glad that I went about that route. I only got like maybe 1 or 2 actual apothecary jars, and I was even concerned about that. I was just like, it's not gonna feel like an apothecary enough. That was enough, honestly, just buying jars that look like they're apothecary jars was enough. This down here is still practical, which I'm happy about. I was concerned about it being too sparse, and while I really want to put something here, I don't feel like it's necessary and you're like taken out of it. So I love that this is what we use, this, and we use the coffee and the coffee filters. So everything else, and those are like open. You can grab them wherever. Like, although my coffee beans are sitting on top of this really, it's not real moss, it's like the dried out fake stuff, which is good. It's sitting on top of that, but it's protected. So there's no problem there, and this is grabbable, and there's nothing to grab here. So this is safe from being moved around and everything. I think the only thing that I'm like trying to get it from a different angle. I think the only thing that I'm a little bit like, I wish I could have done that different, is I feel like that side is heavier than this side for some reason, and I think it was because I was trying to overcompensate for the fact that the spice cabinet, the apothecary cabinet, was right here. So I feel like this side is kind of more lush and longer, but I also feel like that's because where we started with those berry type of things, those are further forward than the ones on this side, so you're seeing them clearer. But that's just getting nitpicky. You know, I'm going to do a close-up. I'm so happy with this. This is exactly, it's giving practical magic. It's giving Stevie Nicks. It's giving coven. It's giving all of that. It's giving all those feels. I feel like even up there, I was concerned about the top shelf because it was starting at first to feel a little sparse as compared to this middle portion. But near the end, it just kind of grew. The crows. I put in the crows while we were off camera, and they're hidden in there, which I love because they're not like obvious. And these crows I got from Home Goods last year for $12.99 for a set of 2, and they're painted really well. Yeah, this is like the maximalism thing that I'm looking for, and it's just way better than any other year that I've ever done the kitchen. Just really excited. I really want to kind of lean into this for other years. I don't know, next year I could possibly change my mind and we're gonna go something completely different. But I love the idea that this is the kitchen that I walk into every day. Yeah, I think just every part of this really works, and some of the best parts that I love about it were pieces that I'd gotten from the thrift store, to be honest. And proof that like spending money on foliage, all the flowers and stuff, while seems like, why are we doing that? That seems extra. It really feeds into setting a scene. It's not, sometimes you don't need a ton of actual decor items. It's the environment building that's going to do the best for you. And even down here, I'm happy that I now have something that's a little bit classier than what we were using before for our bread basket. Let's do the close-ups. I'm so excited to show y'all. I'm so excited for y'all to see this up close. Let's do all of the close-up shots. Thanks y'all for watching. Subscribe down below if you want to see all of the other Decorate With Me videos that are going to be coming out, as we just now made the decision to do. I can't wait for y'all to see this up close, but I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.
Do you always trust your first initial feeling? Special knowledge holds true, best believing. I turned around and the water was closing.